Yeah, this is Point Black coming in hard and off the call. Now today we gonna hit them with the boom bit to the line ass lips. We gonna hit them with the facts, the crack of them backs, and we gonna hit them with the shot to make them hurt like that. Now I got a little something on here that everybody I think needs to see with the facts, the crack backs, to the boom bip, to the line ass lips coming with the heat from the street and the flow from the barrio. You know what I'm saying? Now let's see what is going on here based on some facts that need to be put out there in more ways than one. And my man right here just dropped it hot and straight to the box. So today we're going to be reviewing many of what is going on out there in the world today based on everybody's investigation that is going on based on what we see. You know what I'm saying? Based on what we see. Based on what we see. You know what I mean? So we're going to sit here and let this man here drop something that you really need to listen to and to show you how bold the Democrats is in their quest to destroy the United States. Like it's an old vendetta or an old revenge tactic on the United States to bring it into a mighty chaos to where people at the border, when questioned by the Border Patrol or reporters, going to say something like, yo, well, if you don't know me, you about to know me now. You know what I'm saying? In a little while, you're gonna know who I am. Coming over the border. So we see the garbage that's coming over the border. We see the elaborate plans of the creepy body administration to invade our country, using others to do so because they have been exposed. They have been exposed. So when they get exposed, in their mind, all they want to see and hear about is the nonsense in which they do. So we're gonna see today just how this situation is here with this. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see. So let's take our time and check out and listen to what my man has to say. Here we go.
The Biden regime basically said, hey, you've got till 1 p.m. today, 24 hours to clear another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, with some crazy developments out of the state of Texas.
This is my man.
I'm gonna share a phone call Tucker Carlson had with Greg Abbott. I don't know how many of you have seen that. Please, though, as we're starting this is a huge story. Smash that like, chat in with where you're from, and let's really get this stream out there. But this is
just check it out.
Honestly, it's one of the craziest things. I never thought I'd live to see the day.
You and I both.
This is pretty nutso. Okay, but. Yeah, so just a little bit ago. So what happened? Just if you're not up on the story, what's going on is, of course, Texas wrote that letter. We covered that yesterday. Greg Abbott wrote the letter citing the Constitution and everything there. Then the Biden regime basically said, hey, you've got till 1 p.m. today, 24 hours to clear your people out, or else what, Joe? Honestly, or else what?
Yeah, Joe.
What are you going to have your, do you honestly think that federal soldiers are going to fire on Texas state agents?
Oh, Joe Banana probably thinks so.
What does he think is going to happen here? Anyways, please do smash that like, chatting with where you're from. I got proud to live in Texas. If you're from Texas, write it in the chat right now. I know a number of you will be. Casper, Wyoming's on, Southern Oregon and whatnot. But yeah, think about the lunacy of this threat by Joe Biden.
You mean Joe Banana?
How many of you, let me ask this question, because this just broke. Tucker just released this. How many of you have heard the call between Joe Biden and Tucker Carlson that took place just a few minutes ago? Anybody, yes or no? Just chat in, see if we need to start with that and bring everybody up to speed. But basically, threatening the state of Texas. This is the same guy who ran around talking about using F-15s against Americans. Oh, AR-15s, they're going to need some F-15s. People have not heard this. All right, so we're going to start there.
We heard
this
that
is blow
same
your
cry
mind. This is
during 9/11 when they were knocking the buildings
Tucker
down.
Carlson. He's on the phone with Greg Abbott. Greg
During
Abbott is actually in India
Donkey
working
Bush
on a deal there. I think
Junior
a trade
era.
deal with Texas. So doing the business of the state of Texas in some way, shape, or form. So let me just get this. Okay.
The United States ruled that the Biden administration is legally allowed to open the border by force to cut down razor wire along the Rio Grande sector.
There you go. Oh, what do we got?
Of the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas.
Hold on, I'm going to bring it forward.
Usual suspects voted for this: Minnesota Mayor Elena Kagan, Ketanji Brown Jackson, but they were joined by so-called conservative justices John Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett. So in response to this ruling, which shocked many, the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, drafted a letter, not simply to the administration, but to the world. And here's part of what it says. Under President Biden's lawless border policies, more than 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed our southern border in just 3 years. That is more than the population of 33 different states in this country. This illegal refusal to protect the states has inflicted unprecedented harm on the people all across the United States.
He don't care about the people across the United States. That's the part you're missing. You don't care about that.
That authority is
everybody chiming in. You better chime on in.
Any federal statutes to the contrary. And then, following very quickly, 25 other states with Republican governors signed a letter pledging their support to Texas and its constitutional right to defend itself and this country. Those states include Ohio, Florida, Utah, Nevada, and many others. And then the Biden administration responded. The administration threatened these states, and particularly Texas, with a, quote, 24-hour deadline to allow Border Patrol to reopen the border and to take down the barbed wire. Clearly a collision course. What happens next? We're thankful to be joined now by Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, who joins us by phone from India. Governor Abbott, thank you so much for joining us. If the administration declares that it plans to federalize the National Guard of the state of Texas, your National Guard, what will be your response?
Well, first, I'll be shocked. That would be a boneheaded move on his part, a total disaster. But for one, as you might imagine, we are prepared in the event that that unlikely event does occur to make sure that we will be able to continue exactly what we've been doing over the past months, and that is building these barriers, and whether it be the
That's right. That's right. Stand ground. Stand ground. Stand ground.
Barriers, whatever we
stand ground.
The Biden administration is now trying to
He's a crook
because of it. And we will continue to do exactly what we're
doing
to expand our denial of illegal entry into the state of Texas.
That's right.
With state employees, I assume, not with National Guard, but can you envision a scenario in which you would put armed state employees on the border instead of the National Guard of Texas?
We do have armed state employees on the border as we speak right this minute, and there's the Texas Department of Public Safety, as well as other law enforcement officers, as well as National Guard from other states. And you can be assured there will be more National Guard from other states and more law enforcement officers within the state.
That's right, because I don't see why the military is not standing ground on this situation and they're to go through as if it was a normal thing that was supposed to happen.
Any law enforcement officer in the state of Texas to be able to arrest anybody coming across the border illegally.
That's right. Stand ground. Stand ground.
Have you spoken to the president or anyone from the Biden
White
House about what?
Show them the screen. Show them the screen.
Stand ground. To be clear, I have spoken to the president about the border. I met him on a tarmac in El Paso and talked to him directly about what was going on. I handed him a letter that had in it immediate solutions he could take that would immediately secure the border without the need of any new law to be passed. Despite the fact that I handed him on altogether 8 different letters, he has refused to ever respond.
Right, because it's an elaborate plan. It's a Luciferian Baphomet LGBTQ, you know what I'm saying, demon Democrat
we have been invaded
plan.
And we have demanded,
and that's what he wanted.
To safeguard our state.
Because he's been exposed. The demon Democrat.
Okay, I want to make a really big point here. So, and we talked about this the other day, but the Constitution of the United States was not developed by the federal government to keep the states in line. Remember, when we first came over here to the United States, our ancestors on the Mayflower and everything, they were very opposed to a federal government. So there were states, and they did not even want to join up as a federal government. But eventually they decided that for foreign threats, basically invasions that they needed to. They wanted to have that kind of power, that kind of unity to take on foreign threats.
Right.
And so what they did was they created the federal government bound by the Constitution, people, so that the federal government could not run amok over the states. Not so the federal government can utilize and try and use the Constitution against the states. Because what you need to understand is that Joe Biden is trying to use one of the very clauses that Governor Greg Abbott has set forth to actually use against Greg Abbott to say that he can send federal forces down there to, kick Texas away from securing their own border. This is pure madness. Now, I'm going to play the rest of this call by Greg Abbott and Tucker Carlson. I'm going to ask you guys, smash that like.
Same thing you did to Trump.
Do not let the mainstream media, that's right, mainstream media, spin this narrative. Get this out as quickly as we can. Okay?
Same thing they did to Trump. That's the same thing they did to Trump.
Commenting really help out.
Same tactic they're using on Trump.
Back to Tucker.
They're using the demon Democrats out of
Greg Abbott.
Confederate
an invasion under Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution to make sure that Texas is going to be able to use every tool in our arsenal to defend our state.
That's right.
Of the couple of dozen Republican-led states who pledged support for you, how many do you think would send National Guard to Texas?
I'll be shocked and disappointed if almost all of them do not send. There have been about 10 so far that have sent National Guard or other law enforcement.
This is no more than an elaborate plan.
And this is a fight for the future of America, and they all know it. And so I believe that
stop
they will all
them from being
on this effort.
It's just a remarkable moment. And I know you're heading out, but my final question is, how do you see this resolving?
This is to cover the criminality they've been doing for hundreds of years in our country. You know what I'm saying? This is to cover it. This is an elaborate plan to cover the garbage that would be exposing them to show the trueness that they have done for over 75 years. So rather than be exposed and let it out and everybody know that they're criminals and they're dogs, they put all these elaborate plans and invasions
because I believe a new
into
president
place.
will be sworn in, a president who will actually enforce the immigration laws of the entire country.
That's
Not
right.
just the Texas border,
That's
but
right.
New Mexico and Arizona and
That's
California and the Canadian border also.
Amen.
And
That's
we will
right.
have
I agree.
safe and secure borders once again because
I
we will
agree
have
right
a
along with
president
my
who
man
actually
Lumberjack
will
here.
enforce the laws of the United States of America.
But in the next year, are you concerned about any kind of conflict between state forces, whether state employees or National Guard, and federal forces?
So, Tucker, all we can do is be as prepared as possible.
The states must stand together. The states must stand together.
To put up more border barriers.
The states will stand together.
Deny illegal entry. And our head is down. We're working hard, regardless of what the Biden administration is doing.
Governor Greg Abbott of Texas joining us now from India. Thank you very much, Governor.
Okay, now there's so much to unpack in that, people. But I want you to think about what Greg Abbott just said. He's not going to see. He's very smart in how he's phrasing this. He's not going, well, we're going to have an armed conflict with the federal government. What he is saying, though, is that 10 states have already sent National Guardsmen down there.
Mm-hmm.
He's also
that's what I want to hear.
That and liberals are freaking out over this.
That any state that do not send the National Guard is a criminal to the United States and a part of the creep Joe Biden administration.
Joe Biden needs to get tough on Texas. Isn't Beto O'Rourke a citizen of Texas? What kind of moron is he?
That's a good question.
But it's all going like, oh yeah, we need to get real serious about Texas, and what we need to do is federalize the National Guard, and then use them to basically what? Kick Greg Abbott out of office, take the Texas Department of Public Safety off the border. These types of things.
Can you imagine this?
This is absolutely wild. Okay, so I saw somebody say Abbott wouldn't call Tucker, or he's been wanting to talk to him for a long time, probably because Greg Abbott is smart enough to realize he doesn't want this to turn into an actual firefight, folks. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, that may be where this ends up. I don't know. But just understand that Greg Abbott just continually said all Texas can do is continue to prepare for what's coming. So across Twitter right now is trending I stand with Texas.
I stand with Texas.
I stand with Texas.
I stand with Texas.
Lining up now. There are 25 states, 10 that have set material support in the form of National Guard troops.
Better stand with
Texas.
Texas.
And if you caught one of the key lines that he said
there,
they
Texas.
understand that this is a fight for the very future of our country.
Yeah, I'm right.
If we abandon this fight, we have nothing.
Right.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. And we need Donald Trump back in the White House. And Fani Willis, I dropped a beautiful video on Fani Willis today, people. Make sure you check that out because she got destroyed in 3 different formats yesterday, and you need to see it and share that around as well. We are combating a narrative still. There's so many people who still get their media coverage from the mainstream media, and they don't understand what's going on with the World Economic Forum, with our border crisis in all reality. They think it's like it's humanitarian, it's unhumanitarian to, keep people off the border. No, it's not. It's actually inhumane to bring people across the border. One of the great things that George made a phenomenal point, you guys know him, he's at Firebrand Media, but George made such a fantastic point. He said, actually what's going on is that the border, the cartels, the Biden regime is funding the cartels by keeping the border open because those coyotes get money for funneling people across. Okay? So they're funding drugs, the fentanyl that's pouring in over the border to kill. This is the destruction of our nation. Make no mistake about it. And I want you to think about how maniacal and loony this is, because this is an election year. Now, in any sane person's world, you would never, I repeat, never make statements like this, that like Biden is making in an election year. I'm going to come down, I'm going to bring the military down to the southern border. But this, again, is the same guy who said, people think they're going to arm themselves with AR-15s, but the fact is, you got to be ready to defend yourself against F-15. So what, Joe, you're going to send, this is the way this guy talks. He's not mentally right in the head, but he's not running the show either. He's a plagiarist. He's a liar.
That's right.
I've got a great video clip.
Pedophilia as well. Don't forget pedophilia, LGBTQ woke garbage.
It'll show you some things.
Yellow.
I'm gonna share some responses. So
Yellow.
George, you can follow him on Twitter. Actually, if you want to, in the description below is the link to my Twitter account. If you're on there, you need to set up a Twitter account anyway, because I'm going to tell you folks, if you think censorship has been bad in the past, I think it's going to ratchet up this year. I don't know how they don't do it with the abysmal polling numbers of Joe Biden. I mean, something is going to happen this year, and I don't understand any leads on citizen volunteer organizations at the border. There is a huge convoy going on right now that is lining up. It's already over 20 miles long. That is going to be meeting in 3 cities on the border in California, Arizona, and Texas. So people are going to Eagle Pass, Texas. There's a huge convoy forming up right now that's going to arrive on February 3rd. I have reposted that on my Twitter account, so you can see that over there. So I encourage you to just go down below and follow my Twitter, and I've reposted the thing so if you're down there and are able to join in on the border convoy, I encourage you to. A lot of people are like, oh no, the feds are going to get you and stuff. Look, I mean, if you don't,
we got to stand ground. We got to stand ground. These creeps ain't going to do it using our government against it. That we got to stand ground on our own. We the government. We the people.
Protest in this country.
We the people. What are you talking about?
Okay.
We the people.
Do not have a country. If we can't do that, if our freedom of speech is that stifled, that you're living in fear to that extreme, we do not have a nation anymore. Certainly not a nation worth protecting. Anyways, the Protect Our Border Convoy, you can find out about it. I think actually even Fox News did a piece on it, which is, whoa, Fox News did a piece. Oh, boy. In fact, that is, again, just go to the down below, and I'll find it here, and I repost it to X or Twitter right now. But set up a Twitter account for yourself, and just follow me. My link's down below, and then follow the people I'm following, and you're going to get great news. I'll just put down Border Convoy. By the way, the Canadian Truckers Convoy, which I followed extensively, Justin Trudeau there is a trucker convoy. Here it is.
With his criminal ass. Talking about Trudeau. Look more like trash show.
Oh yeah, look at this.
Trash show.
It's already rolling right there.
That's right. Get the convoy going. Get the convoy going.
Right now, this is the
breaker 19. Breaker 19.
The video.
Get the convoy going. Breaker. Let's go.
Here, I'm going to turn the volume off so I don't get whatever that's called copyright infringement stuff. But this, you can see those trucks are lined up forever, but that is forming up right now.
That's right.
And so
Breaker 19.
Convoy headed to the border. Mr. Sausage, one of the great follows on X. Here we go. I'm going to repost this right now. So if you go to my Twitter, you can get that. But here's and I'll pull this up right here and show you. But just so you know, Peaceful Assembly convoy begins January 29th. February 3rd is when it, calling all truckers, bikers, law enforcement, veterans, military, elected officials.
That's right.
And freedom-loving
Call in the cavalry. Call in the cavalry.
Take our border back.
Call in the cavalry.
Take our border back.
Call in the cavalry. Call in the cavalry.
Look.
We got to creep online. We got to creep in our government.
We can't arrest 76 million people.
That's right.
71 million people, whatever, however many it was that voted for Trump that actually believe in freedom in this country.
That's right.
I'm sorry they can't. Okay, so stop being afraid.
That's right. That's right.
If you're afraid, stop being afraid.
That's right. Okay? And come get me, motherfucker. I want a piece.
The other thing I want to do, and I keep, I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of scatterbrained, and I'm trying to get all this to you, and I'm just watching as new stuff is coming in. But they're not actually, I'm just going to read from a tweet I actually did. I'll find this. I said, well, George, this was in response to George's tweet when he was putting out the news that this was taking place. 1 p.m. Hey, what time are we at here? So 1:19. What's going on, Joe? Have you sent in your feds to, go take on the state of Texas yet? But I responded
Banana
to
Joe.
George, they certainly aren't acting like it's an election year, are they? Makes you wonder what is going on. Does the Biden regime feel that the vote is written?
The Banana Joe.
Do they want a war to suspend the voting?
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Is it still not enough to get enough votes for him? There are so many possibilities as to why a president would act like this, and none of them are good, folks. None of the things you can come up with are good. This is the great replacement theory that we'll have to say is a conspiracy theory, and that we're racist for thinking about it. But they are allowing those people in for a reason.
That's right.
And they're acting like this is all predetermined, like our votes don't matter and so on.
Yes. Now you're beginning to see it.
I just something. The game is afoot, as they say. And I don't know fully what is going on, but none of the outcomes are good. But again, Greg Abbott is saying, hey, we're going to stand up here in Texas.
That's right.
This is the same regime. You have to think about this. Peter Navarro just got sentenced to 4 months in prison yesterday for defying a congressional subpoena against the J6 sham committee.
Damn right.
On the flip side, Hunter Biden goes in and defies a congressional subpoena and nothing has happened to him.
Now you're beginning to see it. Demon Democrat.
Contingent upon us, the people.
Demon blood clot Democrat.
And I have I want to...
Luciferian Baphomet.
Share what Ted Cruz had to say. I know people have different feelings on Ted Cruz. I like the guy. I'll just come out with that. Some people are like, Ted, he's terrible. No, actually Ted did so much to expose Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer and Lindsey Graham during the whole Obama years that I've always appreciated him for that. So I want you to hear what he has to say. He went on Fox News and made a statement.
Well, listen, Texas is right.
Okay, and hold on. I'm going to let it load because somehow my internet's running slow. So I'm going to let that load. But I'm going to let you hear from Ted Cruz, and then also I've got another clip I want to share with you. Hey, somebody super chatted me. I'm going to check that out. But Joe Biden
trying to sabotage the channel.
I think today, let me see.
Trying to sabotage the channel. YouTube, don't do it now because we're going to know where you're coming from.
I think it's Mayorkas. It says Meiosis, but I
Don't
think it's
let them hack
Mayorkas.
in here. Block them out.
Follow orders. It said
Block
follow
them out.
lawful orders. Meiosis didn't include. It said follow lawful orders. Mayorkas actually is coming up for impeachment. They are doing that. They're moving ahead with that. This is all
Get the
causing
punk
this to
out
take
of there.
place. But just today, Joe Biden suspended all LNG sales. Okay. Okay, you meant oath. Got it. All LNG. Let's
get his ass up out of it. Get his ass up out of it.
Natural
Call
gas
in the cavalry. We about to ride,
nigga.
This ain't no ghetto shit.
Okay.
This is international.
What happened last year was they blew up the Nord Stream pipeline.
Let them stay with the ghetto. We going
Europe
against
was
the
cut
world.
off from natural gas.
We ain't gonna stop.
And the source for natural gas became us.
I got to line up.
So
like now,
what's Europe supposed to do? I mean, you blow up Nord Stream. You're trying to hurt Russia. This whole thing doesn't, like, people, the only way this makes sense is if you are longing for the world's demise.
Right.
Okay? But over in...
that's what I was saying all along.
Suspended sale to Europe. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So as I watch all this take place... And the farmers are protesting big time in Germany right now. You guys have seen that in France as well, Belgium, Poland.
Wow.
This whole World Economic Forum crap that cow farts are gonna take us out.
Wow.
And that farming needs to stop and so on. It's all part of this same piece because they say that the biggest threat, to you, people here in the United States of America, is not a mass border invasion. It's not Iran going nuclear. What is the biggest threat? People see who knows what the biggest threat is.
Yeah,
okay?
Creepy banana
and I will
boat.
Find the statement here by Kami Joe, China Joe.
Go all the way back to
I want to see in the
Albert
chat,
Pike.
What do you guys think the biggest threat to humanity is right now? Okay. Glad you're watching from the start. Divan Hate. Anyways, let me see. Oh, yes, there we go. Somebody got it. Climate change. That's what he says the biggest. That's what Joe Biden says the biggest threat is not the border. It's not all these other things.
Yeah,
it is the climate. Cow farts, people. That's right. Cow farts affecting the ozone layer. That's the biggest threat right now.
If you believe that, you're an idiot.
What he did was he suspended the sale of liquefied natural gas. So because somehow LNG is one of the cleanest sources, people. You know when they're taking out one of the cleanest sources of energy that they're full of shit.
That's right.
I don't cuss much, but I don't know how else to say that. It's just... Yeah, the other one, Emil North says, no, it's mega people. That's true. He has said that one too. That's what's going on out there, people. And here, let's see if this Ted Cruz piece is loaded.
Well, listen, Texas is right.
Oh, this sucks. My internet sucks.
Proud to stand with our governor. I'm proud to stand with our state legislature. Joe Biden has created a crisis, and he has created what is an invasion of the state of Texas, and it's an invasion of the country. Under Biden, 9.6 million illegal immigrants have come into this country.
So how is that not an insurrection?
It is massive, and under federal law, it is the federal government's responsibility to stop this, but Joe Biden and the Washington Democrats are defying federal law. And so the state of Texas is stepping up and saying, we're going to defend ourselves. And Greg Abbott is exactly right that Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution gives states the authority, what Justice Scalia referred to as the sovereign rights of states to protect themselves from an invasion. That's what Texas is doing.
All states must stand up now.
Well, listen, Texas is right.
He's right. I mean, that's
right, Cowboys.
Is protecting the border. Oh, look, I got a couple of our super chats here. I said,
come get
took
me.
4 tries to watch your live at YouTube. That's from Occam's Razor.
Ain't no coward like these clowns killing one another in the neighborhood and talking shit to each other all day long, trying to psychologically brainwash and bully motherfuckers. Come get me. This is an international world fight. This is a fight that I would take on. Yeah, a piece of shit in the neighborhood is garbage. Trash. Nobody got time with no clowns.
Lumberjack to 232-425. And I mean, if people, what we're watching, what we're witnessing, if that isn't a warning sign for sound money, I don't know what is. Silver and gold have long been the safe havens. I don't trust Bitcoin and all this digitally encrypted crap. I just don't.
No, don't trust it. Don't
Because
trust
I
it.
think
Don't
about
trust it.
EMPs and all these
Yeah, don't
things. I
trust it.
just
Don't
don't.
trust it. Don't
I
trust
just
it.
don't.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, you guys do what you want. I want some actual, real, physical, tangible money. And the great thing about Midas Gold Group is you're dealing with veteran owners, not commission salespeople. I'm not saying all commission salespeople are bad. Certainly, I used to work in commission sales. But when you're actually able to deal with the owners, it's